clearing up here. I'm all over the place. Yeah, it's not fragile. You can do whatever you need to do. Just talk into that for me real quick.
Okay.
You're perfect.
Yeah.
Fucking perfect. It's like you've done this before.
Hmm.
Oh, my computer's giving me a hard time. Get rid of that. That wasn't too loud for you?
No.
All right, cool. So this is good. I'm just waiting for this to close. And then we will be off. Okay, so I have a video here. Right here. Pew.
Wow. You may wonder how these plants could be so darn big, because every one's 8 to 10 feet tall. It's pretty incredible. The reason they're so big is because these growers know what they're doing. They come from years and years of experience. Now we're in second and third generation growers. That's why they take the time and energy to grow organically, because you got to remember, this is medicine. This is total medicine for people. And organic gives you not only a better taste, but there's no chemicals in it. And you have fewer insect problems, fewer mold problems, and it's just a healthier overall plant.
So, preface, this guy's name is Jorge Cervantes. I hope I got that right. He's a organic cannabis grower. I'm pretty sure he does all aspects of cannabis cultivation, actually. He's been on YouTube and stuff for years. He looks a little bit different now. You might recognize him from High Times magazines. He usually has like a black toque on. He usually has really long dreads, dark goatee, sunshades, and I guess he's changed his look coming into the new generation here, but he has, I don't know, I want to say 25, 30 years of experience with cannabis cultivation. I actually just found him on LinkedIn not too long ago.
That's pretty
cool.
Gave
him an ad, gave him a, like, you're awesome, bro, and he's like, thanks, man. It's a weird fucking community, this cannabis thing, you know? I'm not sure if it's as weird as the org community that I just kind of gave you a little taste of there, but yeah, you should get into it.
Yeah.
John's looking for new players. They got a new season coming up. The finale is this Tuesday. I think he's doing Wednesday because Survivor finishes. Did you do here as well?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, shit.
Whoa.
Low production value in this thing. So, yeah, he's just finishing up his 11th season. He's got big plans for the new one. Survivor's finishing up this week on Wednesday as well. Yeah, we just did that podcast yesterday. Thanks for coming over, by the way. We're still watching this video. I apologize.
That's what I like. And if people say that they can grow bigger plants with chemical fertilizers, well, that's fine. You know, you can believe them. What I got here is proof. This place is amazing. There's 35 plants in this garden. 35 plants. I don't know if any of you have ever grown just 35 plants, but what I can say is I know you haven't grown 35 plants with a yield of 350 pounds. How do you do it? Well, it starts
really quick. So you said 35 plants, and you said 350 pounds, right?
Yeah, 10 pounds.
300, oh, yeah. Fucking, there's some simple math for you, Craig.
Quick math.
Get rid of the evidence of that one.
That's pretty crazy.
So per plant, 10 pounds. So that's no, like, yeah.
this vascular system that pulls all the nutrients up and all the water up, and it's like a super highway in there, right? So you want that as big and strong as possible. Well, the way you do that is you start with a little plant and you get a humongous root system on it. And the funny part is, most people don't realize most of the feeder roots, where all the air is, where all of the easy life is, and where all the life is in the top 18 inches. And the top 2 to 3 inches, or 4 inches even, is where most of the feeder roots are, and that's where most of the biology and activity takes place. So that zone is incredibly important to take care of.
No, you didn't get into mycorrhiza or anything like that. We don't need to watch that again. All right, I'm just going to open her up here. Welcome back to CANCAST, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long time, about 24 hours, and we're back. I'm joined with CanCast #1 guest, Brandon Aasman. What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, thanks
Good.
again. Thank you for coming back
Yeah.
here before the Christmas holidays. You're going off to Mexico.
Yeah, sure
That's
am.
some good stuff, dude. Where can I dive in here? We were just talking. Okay, so he was talking about root systems and things. Yeah, he didn't get into mycorrhiza, anything that would really help establish your root formation, your root hairs, the most important thing in your plant, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the root hairs die, then your whole plant's going to go down. And then he was talking about how most of it's all in the top layer, and then the rest, I guess, is just your structural roots. Let's talk about those fucking massive trees for a second. I want to know how long it took them to get to that stage, because usually what I would do for my plants, gearing up, I've got one seed on the go right now, is get them going for the first couple weeks of January and start taking clones ASAP. Get your nicest, healthiest, best shaped looking clones, and then you're just going to cull the rest if you want to stay under the 4. That's the whole point of this video, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that you could put out 10 pounds per plant really makes this whole government regulated 4 plant limit kind of laughable. Originally they wanted to say no plants over 100 centimeters, and then maybe they were on to something. But then you could get into things where you have one gigantic size menorah tree that just happens to be, you know, the size of this room, but it's still under 100 centimeters, and then maybe you could probably produce a couple of pounds. Yeah, no, I just stumbled across this guy recently and never put the connection together that he was the same guy that you would see in all these old grow cannabis propaganda back in the day when it was heavily illegal, right?
That's funny.
Yeah, they're out there. Like, you gotta kind of be looking for it. It'll be at your gas station stuff on the magazine rack.
Oh, okay.
Like $15.
Oh,
It's usually a drunk buy on the way
Yeah.
home from the bar or something. It's like, you can get a weed magazine, man. See, half of it's all like fertilizers and light advertisements. Like, it pays for itself, and then you just have the consumer throwing a few extra bucks in there just to read a couple stories and see some weed porn. Like, it is literally like a porno mag. The middle will have like a fold out of a giant
That's
bud.
funny.
It'll say something on
Yeah,
it
I
like
think
Bubba
I've seen the High
Kush.
Times before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, famous. So yeah, it's just it's funny where we've come to now, where like that's totally not a thing anymore. And well, like I was talking about in the last podcast, the BC government, their liquor and gaming, what do I got here? Liquor distribution branch, they're looking for like photography jobs, for not to glamorize the product, but to like take some new photography stills of like
Really?
cannabis and in the stores and quality bud, right, to put up and advertise. Like, they said specifically they can't make it, like, they can't make people want to do it. I guess it's like alcohol and everything else, right? You can't see them actually consuming, and like they can lead you to the fact that cannabis is going to make you have a good time. Sydney actually sent me a video today. It was like a little bit of a role reversal talking about designated drivers and shit. It was like a teenager, early 20s, sitting his parents down being like, just because this is legal now and you might want to try it doesn't mean like you should get behind the wheel and drive. And I thought it was really cool seeing it from the other perspective, and then they gave you like a stat being like Gen X, no, what are we? Millennials have the highest rate of DDing per any generation because we're the most aware of it. So it's like it was pushing from the it kind of makes sense though, right? Because past generations it was kind of the norm to hop in your car and bang your way home some nights. That's right. Whereas now it's really pushed that we're aware of consequences a little bit. Not that they weren't, but it's like it's more apparent now with more dummies and shit out there, I guess. As the population grows, you know, you're going to have more accidents. Anyways, moving on. I don't know how we got into that from that grow video. So we're going to move right along to Nova Scotia. So a few podcasts back I covered, they had the first 3 LPs to come to Nova Scotia were Highland Grow, Aqualitas, that's the aquaponics company down south, Nova Scotia, and I got to refer to my book here. Breathing Green, I think Limited is the name of their LP. So they got their cultivation licenses, that's fine, before legalization, but none of them had their, what do they call it? Selling license, I guess? Is that what they just got? Yeah, so they're the first of the 3 of those first LPs in Nova Scotia to receive their sales license. So now they get to start supplying the Nova Scotia liquor control stores with cannabis, because that's how they're doing shit there.
It's a little bit more of a mouthful than LCBO.
Yeah, Liquor Control Board of Ontario, and then liquor. Yeah, I don't know. They're all they're all fucked up. I like how like Nova Scotia, at least in Trailer Park Boys, they just call it the LC. I've
Yeah.
kind of picked that up from that show, just calling it the LCBO. I thought every province for the longest time had a LC.
Yeah.
So something like ABLC or
Yeah.
BCLC, you know what I mean? Shit like
Yeah.
that. And then it's not the case because they're so much more slacker and cool over there.
Yeah.
Like with their privatized alcohol and weed world and all that they have there. I think it's like Weed Mart.
Yeah.
Like, because you can name your stores whatever
Yeah.
you want, and
Come on out there.
the Wild West, baby.
It's pretty awesome.
So Highland Grow was the first to get their sales license, and they're supplying the liquor stores
Yeah.
with weed. Newfoundland, you can buy it from legit stores as well as like Dominion and shit has licenses. So you can go to the grocery store, you know, you get your bottle of wine at the
Where's
wine
that?
rack. Newfoundland.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, from the grocery store. Another reason to move to the Rock.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
You been out there?
No, I just
No, yeah.
seen your pictures, right?
My pictures. I'm
Yeah.
going back there for New Year's actually.
Oh,
with
that'll
my
be
buddy.
so cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I've been tracking their weather, and it's pretty similar to what we have. It seems like more of the landlocked areas to the east coast get hit harder. They still have snow, and it still stacks up, but we're not talking like -20, -30. We're talking about -1, -5, maybe -10.
Yeah.
I think that's because the giant heat sink that's surrounding the island. What are you looking at?
You got a little crayfish.
Oh, I picked that up on the rock. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Couple things. I've got like flags, PI flag, got the Newfoundland flag there.
Yeah.
I meant to put that up. The
Trans
I'm gonna
Canada
grab
sign.
it, Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, just stopped for a pee, and it's like, oh, I can take this. I should just put it on the table. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Nova Scotia.
Yeah, cool. New edition. The best souvenirs are free, right?
Yeah.
When I went out BC way, I wanted to try and grab one in every province. But the funny thing is provincial regulations change how you're
Yeah.
allowed to or supposed to fasten the signs onto the side of the road. So provinces like BC and shit, they have like the industrial
Yeah.
covered nut, so you can't get it off. And it's like, all right, whatever. It was Nova Scotia, I think, and Ontario that had the two like
Yeah.
grabbable. Maybe Quebec, but I
Yeah.
that wasn't
Yeah, I think
interested.
Alberta's the big
Yeah.
giant industrial one to break it off.
Oh yeah, that makes sense, right? The giant like railway spikes.
Yeah.
Where am I going with this? Nova Scotia, talking about the Rock. They have a really cool LP in the works right now called Beehive, spelled
Yeah.
Beehighve. It's an
Okay,
old,
yeah.
well, it's an operating apiary,
Okay.
and then they're getting into like CBD production and THC, like distillates, and putting it in with their honey and making
Really?
edibles and stuff. So
Wow.
pretty cool. I'd
That's
like to
really
get in
cool.
on that.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And then, like I said, there's the aquaponics company in Nova Scotia that I'm interested in as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Continuing on with the Highland Grow, very small company. I would say they're even almost a micro cultivation size. 14 employees, 6,500 square feet. They have 4 strains. They're saying right now they can produce over 620,000 grams per year. They're working on a new facility of like 100,000 square feet, and they're saying they're gonna obviously up that number by a little bit. So that's they've got their first sales license in the province of Nova Scotia instead of grabbing from Alberta and Ontario or wherever else they're getting their product from. Speaking of Ontario, I don't know if you've been keeping track at all with like what's going on with the cannabis recently. Doug Ford get in. He says he's supposed to be private, good across the board, so anybody can apply for a license. That's true. Anybody can apply for the license. That's fine, as long as you're in a municipality of 500,000 people or more. Sorry, was that 500? I meant to say 50,000 people or more.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
better.
it's a bigger, sorry.
But still, like, you shouldn't be regulated.
And there's only 25 positions as of April 1st. So what's going to happen, say I applied, got all the money together for my license, and I was one of the lucky people to get, I think our region, southwestern Ontario, that's us, right?
Yeah.
From Windsor to Niagara Falls is getting 7 locations.
Between Windsor to Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Windsor to Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big area.
I know.
That's a lot of
That's
people.
that's 7 out of 25 on that alone, okay? You
Oh,
know how big Ontario
25.
is, right? 25 in the whole province. So what
Yeah.
happens to Muskoka?
How many is Alberta getting?
What
for
happens-
reference for me?
Alberta, that's totally different.
Yeah.
because they're privatized retail. They're already doing their thing. They
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
so
We already
I,
have way
I
more
don't
than
I
that.
don't think. Oh, you know what?
The
They're
first day we had
I'm
more than
sorry.
that,
I
didn't
just
we?
talked about this a couple podcasts ago. They have stopped their retail licensing right now because of the supply shortage.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
nobody else, yeah, you're not allowed to open a store and
There's
not
nothing to
have
sell.
anything to sell. But what if you were a head shop as well?
Oh, then you're probably making a little bit more.
I guess then you could still open a store.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the worst in the world.
No.
I mean, it's not the best, but yeah, I guess you could still sell products, just you're not allowed to sell flour yet. I didn't think about that. But yeah, 25 stores in all of Ontario, and 7 are like right across the border there. So that's great for tourism and everything. But as you go up, how far are people in Thunder Bay and Huntsville gonna have to go? I bet you maybe Huntsville might be a hub. No, it would be Muskoka. It would be.
No, definitely.
Where would it be? Where would it be? Perry Sound. No, they'll Perry Sound might get. They've been allowances going around for. What's the anagram that they're using for native? I can't remember. It's like Nimin or something. But for Aboriginal Native people wanting to grow cannabis, it's a different licensing system and stuff like that. I think Manitoba just passed something.
Yeah.
I think Ontario is following the same suit when it comes to the Aboriginals and the sacred plant and etc. and so forth. But yeah, it's just fucked up that it's kind of been kiboshed the whole. It's still privatized. Okay, what I was getting at is, say I get the license. Tweed can come along, offer me enough money that I'm going to sell them the license, and all of a sudden everything's owned by Tweed or the other few competing big companies. Going further than that, say you're a company like Tweed, Afria, you're already leasing places now.
Yeah.
Because you thought there was going to be an unlimited market to get a place for. So there's all these places that are going to have to resort to head shops and, I guess, educational sites, and it's just like...
That's absurd.
It's Ontario, baby.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, limiting the number of locations after owners already signed leases. License expected to be resold to biggest bidders because, the LPs have the most money to throw around. Talk about good old Quebec here really quick. Trudeau has said he's mad at the province of Quebec because, I don't know if you've heard, that used to be like the debauchery province. They're raising the cannabis consumption age to 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But alcohol's still 18.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's going to be that gap that's taken just straight by the black market. And he's also saying, not only are you increasing that gap of selling from 19 to 21, 18 to 21 so much bigger, you have this black market that is then going to seep down because you're still 18 in high school. It's going to seep down on the younger ages. So raising it is actually causing the consumption age to decrease, right? Illegally, but still. Yeah. Now, I was talking about in the last podcast, it's like you're coming around with the exterminator to try and get rid of the black market. I'm not pro this. I'm not con this. I'm just saying that's what they're trying to do. And it's almost like they've given the whatever they're trying to exterminate a safe haven for at least a while to figure out what they're going to do and then go somewhere else, right? So our prime minister is not very... He's also saying shortages are going to be fixed within the year, though. I don't know if he knows how long it takes to produce the product, but that's a lot of work that they're going to have to be... They're going to have to really be giving out cultivation licenses in the new year,
But most of Alberta's big ones haven't even started planting anything yet. That's
fucked up, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that? Is that because of cultivation licenses?
They're building it still.
Oh, see, that's the thing, too. Now that the green light finally came, all these people who were just dipping toes in and waiting for things, now they're all getting into things, and it's almost like you should have just dove in beforehand, because now you've got to wait through all this supply
they still
shit.
have Nisku and I think Cremona Mountain.
Okay, yeah.
Which are pretty decent.
Have you bought from the OCS, right?
No,
you didn't. Okay.
No, I just bought the stuff in Alberta.
I didn't buy anything yet either. I'm kind of glad because you're seeing on the news all the recalls and what's going on with the LPs. LP out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, recalling how many products?
Was that the moldy?
No, that was Redican right around the corner actually.
Oh dang.
Redican is from Niagara.
Oh.
Yeah. And one of our teachers works there or consults for them or something like that. Not who you're thinking of, somebody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyways, Bonafide LP. They're recalling. I thought they were saying 2 products or 2 strains of weed that had gone out through different products.
Why is
I guess
that?
they're saying somehow it didn't meet microbial and chemical containment requirements through Health Canada. It's like, how did
did they do that?
how do you get certified in the first place if Health Canada is not watching your shit?
Yeah.
I was talking, I think, 2 podcasts ago that Health Canada finally flexed their scary muscles and they revoked a cultivation license from a Ontario company. I can't remember who
Really?
off the top of my head. Yeah, but just because their bookkeeping and shit was all over the place. If you're not going to be professional, then the government's not going to want to fuck around with you, so might as well go to the States. The States is a whole other ballgame because where we have, like, you saw these shitty little containers and stuff we have, and they're all unisex, like it's all the same stuff everywhere. The States, like, you get fun packaging, you get real money in the branding side of your products. Like, I've seen drinks and shit that are called Hangover Cure. It's just a straight purple bottle, and it's called Granddaddy Purple or Granddaddy Kush or something. Anyways, it's not important, but it's just the fact that they're marketing it in such, like, a fun way. They do have pesticide use in their production, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So that changes things. It's a little yin to yang, but
yeah, no doubt.
I'd like to do a little bit more research on the state side of things and see if there's, like, negative effects to smoking the cannabis out of the big producers, because I think Health Canada might just be making a shitload of fuss for nothing for some certain pesticides. You know what I mean?
It will be interesting to see the research that comes out in the next
all
10 years
kinds
or
of
so.
research now, man. Yeah. Well, I was talking on the last podcast too. Just forget about all that shit and talk about hemp for a second. Like, hemp is its whole other ballgame where, like, you don't need to put in all this money in federal mumbo jumbo around licensing and cultivation and stuff. It's a lot more looser. You still do have a really viable resource there because I've been talking to people about this. I need to find a video. It's super cool. They're making textiles and, like, wall fabric out of hemp now.
Oh, you
they're
can
holding
build
blow torches and shit up to it, and they're holding water and water.
I think they built a car out of it. Everything.
Oh, the whole. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Like tire to frame to.
Well, not the tires, but like the frame and the rims.
Yeah, anything that you can make, like the because they can make plastics out of it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy time to be alive because we're gonna see all this shit as it's progressing through our lifetime.
I'd like to get into decoratives.
Decoratives.
Yeah, decoratives and houseplants. Ones that don't necessarily produce like a potent flower, but a beautiful flower that'll, like, auto flower
that could come down the line eventually. Like a really non-potent strain, but something that is visually appealing. I've been preaching foliage. I've been talking about for the longest time, like, Thanksgiving time rolls around, the rural communities get together and they have their contests in their county fairs and shit for biggest pumpkin or, like, coolest, like, tomato and stuff like that. And I'm saying, like, maybe not around the same time, or 420 maybe, there's going to be, like, this gathering of people, and it's going to be a genetic breeding thing where it's like, look how fucking strong my stalks are. And then this guy's like, look how fucking potent my trichomes are and shit like that. And it's like, let's swap. Then all of a sudden we both have these sweet genetics, and that's just what's going to keep going on. Eventually we're going to get there when the government kind of relaxes a little bit, because right now, like, you can't buy plants unless you're in Newfoundland, because you can get plants from Newfoundland now.
That's a great business idea.
Nursery production.
I love nursery production.
There's
so cool.
I went to the Cannabis Expo back then in September, and they had, like, pamphlets and stuff all over the place for
I'd love to read one.
Getting your different licenses and stuff like that. I have so this, I've gone through this a few times on the podcast already, but yeah, it basically shows you, like, what do you want to do? I want to grow cannabis, or I want to, like, make cannabis products, or like just sell little plants and shit. And it's just like the steps that you would have to go through. Get a picture of that. Yeah. Because you're planning on going back home come graduation?
Sure am.
Back to the AB.
As quickly as I can.
And where's home?
Down by Medicine Hat.
Medicine Hat, Alberta. Yeah, there's a big cannabis game all over there right now.
Yes, there is.
I've talked about Aurora at Nausea before, about how they have the property straight out of the Edmonton airport. Just things like that. Super cool, especially when you're an international trader of the product.
I think I'd rather work for Cremona, like Aurora Mountain or Sundance.
Oh, yeah.
Or something around Calgary.
For sure. Calgary was nice when I drove on through.
Yeah, I love that area. The mountains.
It still feels rural, but it's like hustle and bustle.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so just wrapping up with that Bonafide LP out of Winnipeg. They sell their products out of Saskatchewan. I guess because there's no retail out of Manitoba or something yet. Should have done your research there, Kreger, but I'm not too sure. Moving on right along, Shoppers Drug Mart granted retail license for online medical cannabis sales. So I guess you can treat Shoppers Drug Mart the same as the OCS site. I'll check that out for down the road. It was funny. It was legalization day. I think Curtis was on when I did it. We went on the OCS site. Their security system, at least when I did it, was such fucking bullshit. It's like, type in your age. And I'm just like, all right, I'm a 67-year-old female. Let's see if this works. And it just let me write in.
Really?
Yeah. It's just they don't give a shit. They'll take their money. They'll take your money and then ID at the door and not give you your stuff. It's just a bogus way for them to make it look like they're just covering their asses, right? Because if you're a high school kid, you can go on there, order your stuff, tell your mom I got a package coming, sign for it for me. I can't do it for whatever reason, and away you go.
Wow.
Not the best system. Whereas in a retail store, it would be like the LCBO. If you walk up with your mom, you're getting ID'd too. Yeah. You're never gonna get it out of kids' hands. It's just you're changing how they get it, right? Do you want them to have the product from the black market where it could be tainted and shit? I think I've smoked weed with coke in it once. Because I remember smoking, my teeth went fucking wild. My fucking, like, it was like lightning shot through me, and I don't know. I think I had like a 1 week tolerance break or something before then, but still, like, the reaction that I had, like, especially with the teeth, it felt like my teeth were gonna fall out, and it's just like, man, I had 2 bowls of this shit, and I can't smoke anymore. It's a little spooky. I had never bought from the guy. It was actually my friend's weed that he had grabbed from a dealer down in Hamilton, and I just remember sitting there thinking, like, I am really fucked up, even for a week off, for 2 bowls of weed. And that was the only time that I've had that kind of reaction. I'm not saying it was bad.
Yeah.
But it was not what I expected out of like 2 bowls. Maybe it was just fire weed
crazy.
and I'm not used to it. But yeah, it like sent fucking fireworks through my skull. Drugs are crazy. And I guess I'd never done any research for coke or something, but I guess we have the receptors like weed in there too. I don't know how coke affects your brain.
Yeah.
No, not your forte.
No, no idea.
But yeah, it was just weird. I don't know why people would lace your weed, because weed is literally like the cheapest drug, and you're adding more expensive drugs to it.
Yeah, like that doesn't make sense for them economically.
Unless you're just trying to bring in customers, and it would only be like a 2-time buy. You'd buy the really good shit with the other drug in it once, and you'd go back, and it wouldn't have, and it'd be like, oh, I gotta go somewhere else now. Find that other stuff. Yeah, I gotta go to the coke dealer now. Okay, that wraps that up. So Niagara College, we just wrapped up semester number 3 of our program. So I'll preface here. First year, we were all kind of bunched together. Horticulture, greenhouse, landscape students. We had the strike first semester. So we met working at the greenhouse. That was a good move. You're not there this year. No. Yeah, you're doing another store. That's right. No, that was a good move on our part because it was the strike, and we really weren't doing much around town. So it was good to have that to at least kind of supplement our practical aspect of the what was it, first semester? Yeah, just the first semester.
Yeah, we were really lucky and really fortunate to have
end of September.
We did literally everything all the practical students for
for real. The strike was end of September, start of October.
I don't know.
Whatever, and it went till middle of November. So yeah, that was a weird first semester. But both being kind of, we have plant background one way or another. Yeah. I don't feel like we missed out on too much.
No.
Besides like a lot of just
technical stuff.
Yeah, filler stuff. Like we both had a math class and communication. We've been through the educational ringer before, so we kind of know our shit already. Not to preach not to toot my own horn too hard. This is my podcast, though. Okay, so Niagara College, this is second year for us, so we split. You're the horticulture vein. I'm in the greenhouse vein.
Yeah.
So what kind of classes did you have this semester that we just finished?
Had some ID courses like annuals and perennials, turf management.
So, stop you there. That seems like more of a landscape class.
Yeah, you'd think so, but it's a really good one to have up your sleeve because you can make a ton managing golf courses or like any turf, and turf is anything you walk on.
It's still plant, right?
So
it's
literally,
still fucking plant.
if you're running a botanical garden, like what would be a dream for me,
Mm-hmm.
you would have to be good at turf too, because you'd have to keep the lawns good
Make
too.
it look nice. Okay, fair enough.
And it's just handy to have for your own lawn.
Okay. You had nursery production class.
Nursery
We both
production.
had that.
Yeah.
What did you grow?
Pawpaws and
you did grow
Ilex
pawpaws,
X
nice.
Mesurier.
You got any of those pawpaws left?
I
You
got
donate
7
them?
seeds, but yeah, I donated most.
Yeah.
I did a trial with the LE pots.
So how do you? I'll get this on the podcast for everybody else. How do you germinate those fucking things
The
properly?
pawpaws?
Yeah.
So you collect them off the tree and take them out, clean the flesh off them. I like to imbibe them for 24 hours and then put them into
Could you explain imbibing?
water for like 24 hours so it swells and gets all fat.
Yep.
I also remove the membrane around the outside. There's a thin membrane around there, and if you don't do that, they won't swell, and that reduces germination. I also followed Durr and Hoosers, like
Sorry about that.
no, it's cool. It's one of the recommended textbooks
Oh, okay.
we have. It's a plant propagation book. It's phenomenal. It's amazing.
Yeah.
If you like growing random plants.
Mm-hmm.
And so I followed that to a T, and then I put it in. They say up to 2 months, and then you can plant, or
2
you
months
get
in your paper towel or your what do you do?
no,
Rock wool?
no. Well, you could use rock wool, but you want to moist stratify them for that 2 months. I
Okay.
choose
So in the fridge.
so I use
shit.
soilless media, and you want to every week make sure to open that up and let it breathe. Maybe twice a week would be good.
moss or it was just like a pro mix?
It was Pro Mix.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I did that, and then with I only did that with like 7 seeds,
Okay.
and then the other like 48 I left in the flesh under like one of our instructor's recommendations, and put that in my fridge to moist stratify for that time. And then
Okay.
she said that's what she gets the best results.
So for your moist stratify, put them in your bag with just a spray of water, or do you like imbow them?
no, like just moist, like a 3 on the watering scale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but the flesh was a lot easier,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm expecting to get really
I've
good.
seen the flesh. I feel
No,
like
I
anyone's
never
I've-
heard of it,
Okay.
but
Is it
like
like
our professor,
firm?
like
It's
instructor.
hard to pull off.
The flesh?
Mm.
No, it's like banana. It's banana
Really?
or banana or papaya. You've never had the fruit?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the whole fruit.
Yeah, you
I'm
leave
talking
it in
about
that
the
flesh.
seed. Oh shit.
You leave it in the pawpaw, like the fruit that you eat. Fruity flesh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So are the seeds viable out of the flesh?
Yeah, allegedly, Mary Jane Ervalt, she says that
she's the pro.
she says it works well. So I did that, and I planted it straight in the LE pots with that, and I imagine we'll get really good germination, but I haven't checked on them.
True.
I'll look at them when I
Wow.
get back from Christmas.
Yeah, those pawpaws are something special because they'll grow in Ontario, but their shelf life's only like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So why hasn't there been research into pawpaws and making them
There's a
last
ton.
longer? Yeah.
Tons.
So
They're
it's
trying to
just
breed
hard
it.
to do it, eh?
Yeah, it's up to the point where you can get them to last like up to 2 weeks if you keep them cool.
Oh.
If that's right off the tree,
Just no
2 weeks.
market, no education.
Yeah,
to the
but
pawpaw,
don't drop
right?
it.
Yeah,
Don't
'cause it'll
handle it.
bruise. It's
Yeah,
soft as shit.
so soft.
Well, when you go on that Dominican trip, man, you're gonna see star fruit in the trees. There's gonna be coffee bean.
Me
What else
gusto.
did we see? Why am I drawing up? Oh, guava, passion
Yeah.
fruit, mandarin oranges. Just all.
Mhm.
You're gonna love it because you're a real plant geek. I know that.
Yeah.
Like you appreciate.
I went nuts in
yeah.
Colombia.
How's
and
your
the
mango? No,
Dominican.
your mangoes.
I like
gone.
mangoes.
But you were growing one, right, for a
Yeah,
while. So was I, and then just
was
stopped.
starting one,
Just stopped growing.
but yeah, I've only really got for like lychee, avocado.
Mm-hmm.
It's my tropical trees right now.
Yeah. It's nice to be able to. Again, I didn't think we could grow any of this shit in Canada, but
yeah,
stick it in a closet in a proper growing environment. It's the same as anything else, right?
I've started just leaving it by the window.
Yeah.
All my stuff's fine.
Some things just harden off by the window perfectly.
It's
I have
crazy.
I have the giant Schefflera there. It's like 16 years old from my parents, and it's not doing well
No.
because it stayed in one place at my parents' house for so long. Then they
Yeah.
moved, and it needed somewhere else, and not by my cold ass window, I guess. It's not too happy. I'm trying to keep it alive. I used to have
That's funny.
the really old avocado that died, so
It's
whatever.
gone.
Just clearing the board. Yeah, it's done.
It's fair.
Sad, but it is what it is. I got
Yeah.
that nice. I think it's a fiddle leaf fig there in the living room,
Yeah.
but I've described plant growing to people before as like Pokemon for adults because it's like
Definitely.
you gotta catch them all, you know.
Yeah.
The more you can have in your house, they all have cool. Like I have
Yeah.
a snake plant in here. It's good for the air circulation and filters out some shit, releases oxygen at
Yeah,
night.
I keep one in my house too.
spider plants, stuff like that too, and they're
Yeah.
not by any means hard to keep alive, you know.
Yeah. I think I got like 80 species in my house now.
Okay, so we were talking about nursery production. What else did you guys have?
Oh,
Annuals, perennials?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so identification
I
course.
loved that course.
Yeah,
That was
you
phenomenal.
were good at the last
Loved
ones
it
as well,
yeah.
right?
I think finished this one with a 99.
Last year was deciduous trees.
Yeah.
And then
No, evergreen. Evergreen.
it was evergreens, and then the one before
yeah,
that was
deciduous.
So just a lot of plant ID for any prospective first-year greenhouse horticulture landscape students. It's important to know like what
Yeah.
plants live well where,
And how to grow them.
regardless of what you go into. Landscape, you need that.
Yeah.
Horticulture, obviously. Cannabis. Fuck my life. Greenhouse.
Yeah. Greenhouse, you guys are the ones growing most of the
Yeah,
tropical.
exactly. Yeah. It's cool that
Yeah.
again growing the tropicals in the greenhouse. I'm a big fan of because you don't see them anywhere else. Dominican Republic, you will see fields of Sansevieria everywhere.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
just snake plants as far as the eye can see.
They're not even native there.
They grow like literal gigantic grass.
That's absurd. They're not
Mm.
native. That's crazy.
Found some mimosa, some wild mimosa.
I saw
too.
that. I
yeah.
creeped through your photos.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you'll love it.
Yeah.
Who else is going? Kelsey in greenhouse.
I don't know who that one is.
Okay, Dustin.
Don't know who that is.
Okay. One of Kara's friends. I think Kara was talking. She wanted to go too, but I don't know if that's happening.
Don't know.
I don't know. I might try and squeak in
Yeah.
if there's a spot after my OSAP rolls in. I get all
Are
my
you
bills
serious?
and stuff. If I can,
I
like,
would be so stoked.
if I have the finances involved
Yeah.
and there's a space available last minute, then I would fucking love to.
That'd be really cool.
Again, I'm hoping to do the cannabis program as well, so I do have another opportunity to maybe stick around and get another 8-month potential Dominican Republic trip in there somewhere. But
Oh,
it would.
but you could come with me.
That's what I'm saying. I did it by myself, and that
Yeah.
was great. I got the networking experiences
Yeah.
with Bill. Hopefully that pays off. But I was telling Sydney too, like it would be nice to go with like a core group of friends and be able to like party a little harder. Because it
Yeah.
was a lot of like whatever Bill ordered, I would order. Because I'm just gonna go easy on this, and he's been here before,
Yeah.
you know. So I'm just gonna go with the local, you know. He knows what he's doing. Safe bet. If I went again, then I would definitely be a little bit more adventurous with
Yeah.
food and like just trying different things. But
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
it was a
go hard on
networking
anything
thing for me.
weird.
I know you will. And again, being able to like speak the language at all, you're gonna get bonus points with like the people there as
Yeah.
well as, you know, you're gonna be useful to everybody else.
Not that good at Spanish.
Well, you might be.
I just know
after
how
the
to tell
trip.
them to slow
When
down.
is it?
stop it.
February, right?
Yeah, and I got Mexico coming up, which I'm gonna practice. for.
Ayo.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's good. So no, we're not done yet. What other classes did you have?
Sustainable arboriculture.
Arboriculture, so that's trees. So
Yeah,
keeping
pretty
trees alive.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything to do with trees,
Cool.
which is phenomenal.
Cool. You were
Yeah.
talking about you were thinking about going into that for a while, right?
Yeah, I love trees.
Still thinking about it?
Nah, well, maybe it's just a good skill to have.
Gonna go and fight some more fires from the trees?
No, probably
no,
not.
no,
No,
done with that
plants are
thing.
too much fun.
That was CanCast 1, ladies and gentlemen, talking about Brandon's, before he came to Niagara College, he was Alberta wildfire fighter.
Yeah,
It's a mouthful. I don't know why, because you want to
Yeah.
say wildfire firefighter,
yeah,
and it's like wildfire fighter. So you're just a wild man.
yeah.
Literally, though, because they would drop you in on helicopters. You'd
Yeah.
have to go try and stamp out fires for a bit.
Yeah.
Would get too crazy, and then
It was awesome.
they'd pull you back out. And yeah,
That's
an
exactly it.
adventure, man. That's
It totally is.
why I did the fucking drive to the east and west coast.
Yeah,
It's just
adventure's so
it's a
much fun.
talking point, right? I can
Huge.
say like I've driven across the fucking country.
Yeah, that's
Tooting my horn again, ladies and gentlemen. What did you expect? By now, 17. If you're still sticking in, you know what you're gonna get by now. Just Craig talking about himself for a while. Okay, so your arboriculture class.
Yeah, weeds.
Oh, you had a weed class.
Weeds.
Oh,
Yeah, like
So
legitimate
identifying,
weeds.
like,
weed
dandelions.
management.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
dandelions, managing it, all that stuff.
did they talk about like the benefits of some of those weeds, or was it more so just like kill them all?
Well, yeah, the benefits and like it was like what the plants were, and we ID'd some. and
Mm-hmm. How some of them would like
Yeah, and how
attract
you would-
certain predators. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what's good for bios, what's
Yeah.
just attracts only all bad and is hell.
Bios are huge,
Yeah.
especially in the Canadian cannabis industry, because, like I said, no pesticides. So you really have to go fighting bugs against bugs. But then you have issues like some LPs are saying they're getting recalls because people are finding the dead bios in their weed.
Yeah.
And like even if it is radiated and
Yeah.
like chemically sound, you don't want to find fucking
A bug.
organisms in your
No.
goddamn weed.
But I think people just need to get over that if they want healthy
It's this
weed,
or
right?
exactly. You're right. So
Yeah,
we need to
if you want
find
organic,
like
then.
a proper.
If
I
you like
don't know.
chemicals, then
Yeah.
you're in that clean weed.
There's got to be some
But
kind of. You need to just get a giant fan and blow all the bugs off after.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. There needs to be some way to attract the bugs because that's the issue
Yeah.
right now. You're buying these bios.
well, banker plants they do a decent enough job where you can at least like build that population up after you spray.
I think at least for cannabis, there needs to be
In-house
some kind of
growth.
rotation with younger
Yeah.
plants and new plants because the younger plants might get an infestation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the older plants in with the younger plants that have like the bios
Oh.
on them already, as the new
Yeah.
older plant is maturing, the bios are going to go to the newer plants
Yeah.
and then keep that going.
Yeah, but that's
Obviously, there's a
but the
contamination.
pest issues.
Exactly.
because you don't
But
know
I'm
what's
just
gonna
trying to
hit it
think
when.
because they're talking about how do we keep our bios
Yeah.
alive because we're spending so much fucking money on bios.
Yeah.
We use them for 2 weeks and they die.
Did you
'cause
go to the Herb's greenhouse with us?
herbs? I don't
Yeah,
think so.
so we went to like a pretty big Herb's greenhouse around here, and they grow all their own, like, well, not all, but like their most expensive one, like I think like Evolitis or something like that, something for aphids. They grow aphids to feed to these wasps, and they raise them, so they don't have to buy them, and they save a ton of money by raising their own insects.
Oh, that's
So like we did
that's
with
cool.
most, that would be
That's
so
cool.
sweet.
You know, there's ants that do that too, eh? With
Yeah.
aphids.
Well, these wasps they just inject it to lay their eggs.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. I'm just saying a little bit of a tangent
Yeah.
here.
Ants are cool.
There's farmer ants that will farm aphids so that they can eat them.
Yeah, off
Yeah.
the honeydew.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the honeydew. That's right. Yeah.
Just eat the
Mhm.
aphid poo.
So that was weeds. Next, you had communications.
Communications.
We all
yeah.
had that. That was a
It
pile of
was
bullshit.
Highly subpar. We did our proposal, and the proposal is an amazing assignment. That's the only one in the entire bloody course that all the assignments I made us do that was anything helpful.
And what was your proposal on?
I did my proposal on the use of a vertical growing module with the Calgary Urban Agriculture Development
shit.
Plan
Mm-hmm.
to produce sustainable year-round produce and good classes to teach people about aquaponics, hydroponics, producing their own
Cool,
vegetables
cool.
year-round,
Okay.
sustainable farming, organic farming, how to use lights,
I
all
went
that stuff.
educational as well. It was
Yeah.
like home growing for cannabis, how
Yeah.
to offset some of the supply requirements from the big
Yeah.
LPs to kind of focus more on the micro side, home grows, setting up a specific room in your house to be monitored and temperature, all you know what I mean, all that shit, and just
Yeah.
like a legitimate. I don't know what the size of this room would be, but a small scale production room.
12
you know
by
what I mean?
14 maybe.
So yeah, fucking 140, 120 square feet. You know. Anyways, so I'd focus kind of mostly on that from the argument that right out of the gate, the Canadian cannabis industry is, for lack of a better term, failing.
Yeah.
Right, so there needs to be
No,
some kind of
definitely.
a pressure release to.
But that's what we've been being told by people.
You're right.
is that
But
there
as
is,
far
like,
as
a lack of expertise in the industry right
hey,
now.
that works for me, man.
Yeah, it works well for us because there is a lot of, like, no offense, but like old guys who've been in there and they're tried and true.
Even young guys.
But there's still some stuff they can
Even
learn.
young
Yeah,
guys.
even them. But like all these people with misinformation,
Mm-hmm.
that they're still
With
growing
no
phenomenal
background.
plants. But
It's just they
if
needed.
they tweak that one thing, it's
Yep.
perfect.
Yep. I've been preaching for a while. The
Yeah.
industry is filled with unskilled labor because they need hands.
Hmm.
Before you skill the labor, you need to get the labor in. So there's a lot of people who, don't have other jobs. They don't have to worry about leaving companies to go work at a cannabis industry. They're looking for work because they don't have it. These people are getting the jobs right now. Sometimes their attitudes aren't the best towards working in general. You put them in a hot fucking greenhouse environment and stuff like that, things happen. And people care less when there's a fucking uncountable number of plants in a room compared to having 2-3 plants that are yours that you have to care for the entire
Yeah.
season. Excuse me. And I don't know. I'm a micro cultivation preacher because I've seen the other side.
Yeah.
And it's not pretty. What class did we just talk about? Communication.
Yeah.
What else did you have?
Greenhouse production science.
Greenhouse production. So is that different from greenhouse crops?
Yeah, ours was just a general overview on what you do in it was plant science too. all over again.
Oh no.
But this time we grew herbs as a term project.
That's fun.
It was plant science 2 all over again.
Mm-hmm. We had
With absolutely no change.
we had a greenhouse environment class led by Matt,
Yeah.
and he was using the what's that fucking? It's the growth chamber, right? So you
Yeah.
have the red flowering lights and then the blue veg
Yeah.
lights on the bottom, and they did peas, broccoli, and I want to say kale, something else, microgreens basically. Me and Sid went and did our own project where we monitored like the change in beans, tomatoes, and lettuce growth
Yeah.
in a 12-12 environment versus the 18-6 environment. We already kind of knew what was going to happen. The bean grew better. The tomato didn't grow as well in the 24-hour.
Yeah.
24-hour tomatoes need the fucking rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
know
wow.
that for the longest time. Again, class actually paying off for once.
Huh.
Yeah, tomatoes thrive when they have a little bit of a respiration period with no photosynthesis.
Mm-hmm.
They need it because they can't break down their sugars at the same time as they're photosynthesizing, something like that.
Okay.
Really, I didn't know that. Just heard that from Bill, and
Yeah.
that thing's growing way faster than the thing. Nope, sorry, vice versa. Nope, that's the 24-hour. I turned that off for the podcast.
Oh, you have it on 24 hours.
Yeah, that's 24-hour.
Okay.
Because I'll grow
I
cannabis
thought you meant
24
12,
hours
12.
sometimes.
Really?
That is an 18-6, so it still gets the
Okay.
break, but it's
Yeah.
still in like a vegetative
Wow.
phase. I have the
Yeah.
weed in there too, right?
Wow.
I've done cannabis in the 24-hour for the longest time, but I think the school has finally broke me, and I'll do like the
Wow.
18-6 to the
Yeah.
20-4, because
Yeah.
yeah, they need the respiration period, and if you get better fucking
There
weed from
you
that,
go.
then that's fine. It's cool. I was at JWC. I'll
Yeah.
show you this. I'll have to fucking go through my computer and find this. JWC on Saturday, and what they do for their dark periods, it's not dark in the rooms. They have
Yeah.
the green lights, so the plants can't use the green light, right? Wait till you see the intensity of these fucking lights. You step into the room, your eyes slowly adjust to this kind of a color,
Yeah.
literally like the color of the board here.
Yeah.
And oh, there's some pictures from the trip. Look at this. This is their aeroponic setup too. So
Why is it green light?
because it's their nighttime phase,
Oh.
so that the employees can still work on the plants.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
And that works?
Yeah, because the plants
Don't
can't
take up.
photosynthesize the green spectrum.
So-
it has to be in, what is it, PPFD?
Yeah.
Photo-
Or no, the PAR.
PAR.
Yeah.
Yeah, PPFD is a light rating for your lights, right?
Yeah.
Per day. Come on, why is it taking so long on my computer? It's because I do all the podcast shit. Each podcast is usually about 30 to 35 gigs. So if I have a couple backed up on here, then it really
Damn.
fucking bogs her down. Not
That's
responding.
huge.
Yeah, it's a shame. Anyway, so they're just really green, like this kind of taskbar green. You go in, your eyes adjust. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
closed on me. And when you get out, you see the white, but it's just like straight pink because your eyes just they've changed
Yeah.
so much getting used to the
That's so
green
funny.
spectrum. Yeah, it's wild for a while. You can get the sunglasses that
Yeah.
change the green light so that you can see white, but the plants are still in their dark
That's
period.
so crazy.
So yeah, it's a shame this didn't show up because it's a picture of like their aeroponic setup. Let me see. Oh man, that's a shame. My computer's being a cock. Yep, not a thing. Sorry, folks. Yeah, that's all I was saying. The green light is just so that you can work with the plants, but they're
Yeah.
not. They're technically sleeping.
That's cool.
Did we cover all your classes?
It's Spanish.
Oh, you took Spanish. So yeah, we had to do
Yeah.
an elective.
Let me
The trip applies towards the elective as well. I took that
see.
route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured.
I
was
still
getting
have
in.
to do a few things for the portfolio, but it's not due till the 4th. So I still have a ton of time. Just a matter of a couple journal entries. You need to put a short blog together. You need to do like your own kind of personal profile about why you want to go on the
Yeah.
trip. I think I've done all that already, so it's just a matter of kind of putting everything together
Yeah.
and closing her up.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the assignment for that.
Well, no, you don't need to because you've actually.
Yeah.
Here, we can find this now. So
Yeah.
those are just pictures from the trip. That would be a whole other hour or two right there if we got into that. So I'm just gonna real quick.
Oh, that's crazy.
Computer. And then yeah, so this kind of green, that's the spectrum
Yeah.
that you're playing with under the lights. And then just a quick description of the aeroponics here. So these buckets, you've got your net pot on top here. reservoir down on the bottom, much like in the greenhouse, the NFT system. Instead of it pumping it into the tops of the troughs, you're pumping it. Hose goes into the bucket, and then you just have sprinkler heads that miss the roots every so often.
Yeah.
Yeah. I built a couple DIY aeroponic cloners in my day, way back before going to Niagara College, and you get really close to 100% success rate.
Wow.
I think I did like 12, 13 clones at once, just because of how they space out on the bucket lid properly with your neoprene pucks and your net pots and all that. And yeah, I think I maybe got 11, 12 out of the 13.
Cool.
That was back when I had 40 clones going at once one year. Those were the days.
Wow.
Those were the days. I remember because it was in my parents' basement. I had like a whole grow box and shit. And my dad had friends looking for plants. So I'm like, yeah, just go downstairs. You can grab a couple for your buddies. And he's just like, I went down, opened the door, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you've got a small jungle in here. We can't have all these. It's like, okay, well then give your friend some, and I just want some of the product at the end. So that's usually my deal that I'll do.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, not speaking truthfully here, this is what I would do, is like grow the clones and then give them out, and then I would just take a couple branches off whatever is at the end, you know what I mean? Just something for me supplying you with the product, but I still recognize the fact that from me giving you the small baby to you giving me some of that product at the end, there's a lot more work on your end. So, just give me a little bit, and that's that. Spanish, and then that was it, right?
Yeah, pathology, but I think we both had that.
What?
Pathology?
Pathology, yeah. We had pathology. And then I had a lot of greenhouse-based courses, obviously. So it was greenhouse crops, where we studied different growth systems, such as like the NFT that I talked about. They have the aquaponics set up at the back there. And then obviously things like bicarbonate. Did you guys cover like your salt solutions? EC obviously is a big factor in everything. Horticulture, pH. We had a whole class on root zones. So how to like produce a proper environment to make your roots. That was, I thought, was pretty good. Then we had a whole class dedicated to IPM, so plant identification and just like studying. You take one thing out of the IPM cycle, then it's gonna just cause fucking chaos. Something's gonna take over, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole theory about if you give room for a population to grow, it's gonna grow. But if everything's balanced properly, if you have like 10, 25, 25, 10, 5, and then it all evens out, none of those populations are able to grow any bigger, right? All of a sudden you take out one of those 25s and all the other populations start fighting for that empty space, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of theories based around IPM and how to, again, manage your biomes and keep things alive for the longest time. We had the nursery production. We had an annual perennial class as well. I'm just going through my week here, seeing if I forget anything.
Well, what annuals did you... What plants did you do for your poster?
I did bee balm.
Nice.
Yeah,
Monarda Fistulosa? Or did you do the other one?
It was like the starburst flower, pink with orange in the middle. I could be way off in that. It was red.
Okay, yeah.
And like
diffusa, I think. Monarda diffusa, I think. I could be wrong.
I just Canva'd it. Canva. So it's like Photoshop online, makes all your stuff for you basically.
That's pretty cool.
Like I said, I'm about a 73, 74 average, I think. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Again, I'm applying for the cannabis program. Bill said he's not even looking at GPA. He wants to see that you can kind of follow like the professional side of writing up the like your resume. He wants to see that you actually have a professional resume.
Yeah.
Then you have to write 2 different like cover letter and then why you should be like considered specifically for the program, then references. So I'm writing out a couple references for different people and sending them off and just being like, is this cool? I'm going to put your name on the bottom of it. And away we go. Okay, so I'm just trying to think if I missed any of my classes there. Wednesday, IPM, like you said, pathology. And Thursday was the greenhouse environment class, so just studying your greenhouse systems and kind of like the structure and what you need to put together and how the heating systems all work, HVAC, etc., and so forth. And then Friday was crop science 1. Yup. I'm assuming we're having crop science 2 in January. And then I had communication.
Yeah.
So it's pretty solid, like greenhouse-based
pretty
course,
cool.
and then it seems like it's a lot of more systems and the newer age technology coming into play for the new semester. Yeah.
That's cool.
This was fun, man.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. I just wanted to get you here for the 16th, 17th, because, I just had, like, the 1 year not too long ago, so I wanted to get you back since you were the first one.
That's super cool.
Maybe we'll get another one in before graduation day, and we'll really know what we're doing.
Sure, that'd be sweet.
You're going to Mexico for Christmas. That's fucking sweet. All the best there.
Thank you.
And, I guess we'll reconvene in the new year, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
And, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. I think this will be my last podcast for the year. I know I said that last time, but I think this will probably wrap us up with a nice bow on top. Okay, next time, goodbye. Bye-bye.